It was raining hard that night in Astoria. Not just light rain, cold, sharp rain. The kind that cuts your face and makes your fingers shake. Wind howled through the trees like something angry. The street lights flickered. The town felt like a ghost. I was standing in front of a small hospital room, staring at a white door that would not open. My hands were cold, even under my coat. My heart was worse. It wasn't cold. It was broken. Inside that room, my mother was dying. She didn't say much the last few days, just held my hand and looked out the window. But before she closed her eyes, she told me one last thing. Go, she whispered. Go, even if it rains. If he's coming, he'll be there. That's how the story begins. Not with love, not with joy, but with a storm. You may think this is a story about a man I met once by the sea, a man who told me things that made my heart feel alive. You may think this is about waiting for him, but it's not just that. It's about the choice I made, to believe, to hope, to show up, even when everything told me not to. Because 1 year before that storm, something happened, something small, something that changed everything. I sat alone on a bench near the ocean, like I always did after work, and he sat next to me, a stranger with tired eyes and a soft voice. He asked me what I was reading. Then he told me about the war. Not in detail, just enough to know he had seen too much. That night, he didn't ask for my name. He just said, "See you here tomorrow?" And I said yes. That yes became days. Days became weeks. And then one day, he looked at me and said, "If you wait for me, I'll come back, the 15th of August, 5 o'clock, right here." That's when the story really began. And that's why I stood in the rain 1 year later, with a red umbrella and a heart full of hope, waiting. He came back the next day, just like he said. Same bench, same time. His hands were in his pockets, his hair still a little wet from the sea air. I smiled. I didn't know why. I just did. We sat in silence for a bit. Then he asked if I liked dogs. I said I did. He said he used to have one, a big one, brown, with sad eyes. "He was there when I left," he said, "but not when I came home." I didn't ask what that meant. I just nodded. Somehow, I understood. Every day after that, he came to sit with me. He didn't say much, but when he did, it was never small talk. It was real, deep. His words stayed with me even after he left. One time, I brought him coffee from the store down the street. It was cheap but warm. He said it was the best thing he'd had in weeks. He smiled, really smiled. That was the first time I saw light in his face. He told me he didn't sleep well. That loud sounds still made him jump. That sometimes he forgot where he was. But he also said something I didn't forget. "You make things feel quiet," he said. I didn't know what to say, so I just looked at him. And for the first time, he looked back like he wasn't scared. Day after day, we met at that bench. I told him about my mom, about the small bookstore where I worked, about the books nobody bought, but I still put on the shelf, hoping someone would. One day, I asked why he came here. He said, because I need to remember how to breathe. That answer sat in my heart like a small fire. He stayed for a month. Then, one day, he said he had to go. But before he left, he touched my hand. Light, careful. The 15th of August, he said. 5 o'clock. This bench. Don't forget. I didn't forget. I couldn't. Because by then, it wasn't just a bench. It was a promise. The morning he left, the sky was gray. It wasn't raining, but it felt like it might. I walked with him to the edge of town. We didn't speak much. He had one small bag, that's all. A green coat, dark jeans, boots still dusty from walking near the cliffs. He looked back at the sea one last time. I'll only be gone for a while, he said. School starts in 2 weeks. I want to try something new, maybe fix things in my head. I asked if he was scared. He said, yes, but not of going. I'm scared I won't come back the same. That's when I reached for his hand. He held it tight, like it was the only thing real. 5 o'clock, he whispered. The 15th of August. Right here. If it rains, bring the red umbrella. I want to see it. I nodded. I didn't cry. I wanted to be strong, like the girl he thought I was. After he left, the days felt long. I went to work, cleaned the shop, took care of Mom. But every evening, I sat on that same bench, even when it was cold, even when it snowed. I started counting down, not with numbers, but with hope. I wrote him 3 letters, one in fall, one in winter, one in spring. I told him about the waves, about the dog that walked by the shop every morning, about how the coffee at the store still tasted bad, but I bought it anyway. I never got a letter back. Mom asked me once, "Are you sure he's coming back?" I said, yes, but inside, I wasn't sure. Sometimes I thought I saw him, a man with his walk, his hair, but it was never him. Still, I waited. One night in July, I took the red umbrella out of the closet. I checked it for holes. It still worked. That small thing made me smile, just a little. I told myself, he promised. He'll come back. He has to. The day came slowly, the 15th of August. I woke up early. The sky was blue, clear, like it knew something I didn't. I stood by the window with a cup of weak coffee. My hands shook a little. I hadn't slept much. Mom was sitting on the couch, wrapped in her thick brown blanket. Her face was pale, thinner than before, her breath short. But her eyes still saw everything. "You look like someone going to meet the sun," she said. I smiled, but it didn't reach my eyes. "He's coming today," I said. 5 o'clock. She didn't ask questions, just nodded. "Then wear that red dress, the one with the white buttons." I did. I folded the red umbrella and placed it beside the door. It hadn't rained in days, but I brought it anyway. He told me to. At the bookstore, I couldn't think. I dropped a stack of books. I forgot to charge a customer. My mind was only counting hours, minutes. I closed the shop early. Mom called out as I left, If it rains, don't run. Let it fall. Love needs time. I walked to the park. My heart beat fast. I was early, so I sat on the bench. The same one. The paint was chipped now, but it still held the shape of two people. I looked at my watch. 4:20. Still time. A boy passed with a kite. A dog barked. The sea kept moving, like always. Then, out of nowhere, clouds rolled in, thick, dark. At 4:45, it started to rain. Soft at first, then harder. I opened the red umbrella. People around me ran, but I stayed on that bench, in that dress, holding the red umbrella like it was the only thing keeping me from falling apart. 5 o'clock came, and I waited, eyes wide, ears open, heart full. He said he'd come back, so I waited. 5:05. Still no sign of him. I looked down the path. My hand held the red umbrella tight. The rain was falling harder now. Cold drops slid down my back, inside my dress. I didn't move. People came and went. Some looked at me. Most didn't. I was just a girl with a red umbrella in the rain. Nothing special. 5:15. A man walked by in a green coat. My heart jumped, but it wasn't him. Too tall. Wrong walk. Wrong face. 5:30. I whispered to myself. Maybe he's running late. Maybe traffic. Maybe he's almost here. A strong wind blew. My umbrella flipped inside out. I fought to close it. When I looked up again, the bench across from me was empty. 5:45. My hands were shaking. My hair was soaked. My eyes hurt from the rain, or maybe from hope. At 6 o'clock, the streetlights came on. That soft yellow glow made everything look old, sad. I still waited. A woman stopped near me. She was holding a little girl in one hand and a paper bag in the other. She looked at me for a long time, then said, "You okay, sweetie?" I wanted to lie. I wanted to smile, but I only said, "I'm waiting for someone." She nodded, like she understood, but she didn't say more. She walked away, shoes splashing in the water. 6:30. I closed the umbrella. My arms were tired. My heart was tired. I looked at the sea. It didn't care. It never does. That's when I knew. He wasn't coming. He wasn't going to walk down that path. He wasn't going to smile and say, "Sorry I'm late." He was gone. I stood up, slowly. My legs felt heavy. My dress clung to me like wet paper. The sky above me turned dark blue, the kind of blue that feels like the end of something. I didn't cry. I couldn't. I just walked. One step, then another, back toward the lights, back toward home. When I walked through the door, the house was too quiet. No light, no sound, just the soft drip of rain on the windows. I dropped the umbrella near the chair. My coat was heavy. My shoes were full of water. I didn't even take them off. Mom wasn't on the couch. I found her in bed. Her eyes were closed, but she wasn't sleeping. She was just still. I sat next to her, My hair was still wet. My hands felt like ice. She opened her eyes a little and looked at me. She smiled. So soft, so slow. I knew, she said. He didn't come, did he? I shook my head. I didn't want to speak. My voice would break. She touched my hand. It's okay. Some people are lost. You're not. I wanted to cry then, but I didn't. I just held her hand. She closed her eyes again. Her breathing was slow, her skin cold. That night, I wrote a letter. Dear Noah, I waited. I wore the red dress. I brought the umbrella. I sat in the rain until I couldn't feel my hands. You didn't come, but I still hope you're okay. I hope you found peace. I hope you found something good. Mom is gone now. I held her hand until her last breath. I told her about you. She said she knew you would not come, but she let me go anyway because I needed to believe. This will be the last letter. I can't wait anymore. Not for someone who won't even say goodbye. Still, thank you for the bench, for the stories, for the hope. Goodbye, Sophie. I folded it and placed it inside a book. The one he once said he liked. Then I put it on the shelf. No name, no address. Just quiet, just the end. Fall came fast that year. Leaves turned gold and brown, then dropped like quiet rain. The air felt thin. The light faded earlier each day. I stopped going to the bench. I couldn't look at it. Not yet. At the shop, I said little. People talked around me, not to me. I smiled when needed. I worked like my heart was on pause. I packed Mom's things one box at a time. Her glasses, her blanket, her old radio. I folded each one like it could still hold her shape. One night, I found her notebook. She had written 2 words on the last page. Still here. I didn't know what she meant, but I held on to that page like it mattered. Days turned into weeks, and somehow the pain changed. It didn't leave, but it stopped cutting. It became quiet, like the sea when the wind dies down. One morning, I made tea and looked out the window. The sun hit the side of the house just right. It was warm. I sat in that light for a long time. That same day, I opened the red umbrella, not for the rain, just to see it. The fabric still bright, still strong. I smiled. For the first time in a while, it didn't feel wrong. Hey, if you're still listening to my story right now, I just want to ask one small thing. How are you doing? Are you sleeping enough? Are you eating okay? If you are, I'm really glad. And if you're not, please take care of yourself tonight. And maybe, just maybe, leave a number 7 below, so I'll know you're still here too. Later that week, I went back to the park, just to walk, just to breathe. I didn't sit on the bench, but I passed by it. I looked at it, and for the first time, I didn't feel like crying. I was still here, still walking, still breathing. And that was enough. It had been 3 years, 3 quiet birthdays, 3 rainy August 15ths. The red umbrella still hung on the back of my door, untouched. That morning, the shop was slow. A few people came in, mostly older women, buying books they had already read once or twice. I stood behind the counter, dusting covers just to stay busy. The bell above the door rang. A man walked in, tall, not young, a little thin. His coat was too big for him. His shoes were worn. He looked around like he didn't belong. I almost didn't look at him, but then he stepped closer and asked, "Is there someone here named Sophie?" My hands stopped moving. I looked up. His eyes were blue, but tired, like someone who hadn't slept well in years. He wasn't Noah, but something about him felt like a piece of him. I said, "That's me." He reached into his coat and pulled out a small folded paper. He didn't speak, just gave it to me and turned away. I wanted to call out, to ask who he was, but my mouth wouldn't move. He was gone before the door even closed. I opened the note with shaking fingers. I was late, but I came. That's all it said. The paper was damp, like it had been held too long, like someone cried while writing it. I sat down behind the counter. My heart beat fast. My mind ran in circles. Was he back in town? Did he stand at the bench? Did he walk through the park hoping to see me? Or had he come and gone, like wind through trees, felt but unseen? The bell didn't ring again that day. I read the note 5 more times, and for the first time since that rainy evening years ago, I felt something new. Not pain, not anger, just a small, quiet question growing in my chest. What if he never stopped thinking of me either? I didn't sleep that night. I kept the note under my pillow, like it could tell me more while I dreamed. But it didn't. It stayed quiet, just those 5 words. The next morning, I walked to the park. Same bench, same spot. I sat there for hours, watching people, watching the sea. No one came. That evening, I searched online. I typed his full name, the one he once wrote inside the book he gave me. I didn't know what I was looking for. I just wanted to know he was still out there. And I found something. A record from a hospital in New York. A veterans hospital. His name was there. Admission date, almost 3 years ago. Discharge, just 2 weeks before he came back to town. I called the number listed. A kind woman answered. She couldn't give me details, but she said, "Yes, he stayed with us. It was hard, but he got better. He left with hope." I hung up and sat in silence. 3 years. 3 years of no answers. But now I had one. He hadn't forgotten me. He hadn't run away. He had been trying to find himself again. In a place where people go to heal what no one else can see. I remembered something he once said. "I'm scared I won't come back the same." Maybe he didn't. Maybe that's why he didn't walk through the door himself. But the note? That was him. That was enough. I opened the red umbrella that night, even though it wasn't raining. I stood under it in the backyard, under the stars. For the first time, I wasn't waiting anymore. I was remembering, and I wasn't alone in it. Not anymore. The next morning, I wrote a note of my own. Just a short one. Not asking anything. Not hoping for anything. If you still carry that photo, if you still remember that bench, I'm here, just once more. Same place, same time. No red umbrella this time, just me. I folded the paper and slipped it into a book. I didn't mail it. I didn't have his address. I left the book at the same bookstore shelf where he once stood, just in case. That evening, I walked to the park again. It was quiet, no wind, no rain. I sat on the bench. The paint was more chipped now. The wood creaked under me. It was still the same. I didn't bring anything. No dress, no umbrella, no letter, just me. That was enough. I watched the water move. A dog barked in the distance. Somewhere behind me, a child laughed. I didn't check my watch. I didn't count the minutes. This time, I wasn't waiting. I was remembering, living. I thought about the way he once said, "You make things feel quiet." And I smiled, because now I finally understood what he meant. Quiet doesn't mean empty. It means peace. I stood up and walked toward the edge of the park. The sky was turning pink. A light wind brushed past me. Before I reached the street, I turned around one last time. The bench sat under the old tree, alone, but it didn't feel sad anymore. It felt full. Maybe he would come. Maybe he wouldn't. But I wasn't broken anymore. I was still Sophie, still walking, still here. And that, somehow, was enough. Sometimes, the people we care about leave without a sound, not because they want to hurt us, but because they are lost too. This story is not about blame. It's about holding on, even when answers don't come. Sophie waited, not because she was weak, but because she believed in something real. In a world where many give up fast, she chose to keep hope. That hope didn't give her what she wanted, but it helped her stay true to who she was. Noah didn't come back the way she dreamed, but he tried, and sometimes trying is all a broken person can do. We don't always get a full ending. We don't always hear the why, but we can still choose peace over pain. What stays with us is not the waiting or the rain or the bench. It's the quiet strength to stand up again, to walk home alone, to open the umbrella once more. Not for someone else, but for ourselves. That's the kind of strong no one sees. But it's real, and it's enough. Maybe you've waited too, not on a bench in the rain, but in other ways. For a message that never came. For someone to say sorry. For love to feel safe again. Maybe you've asked yourself, did they ever care? Was I not enough? But the truth is, your worth doesn't change just because someone walked away. It doesn't break because someone couldn't stay. You are still here, still breathing, still trying, and that means more than you think. If this story made you feel something, anything at all, maybe it's because a part of you has been where Sophie stood. If so, you're not alone. And if someone you care about is going through something heavy, or just needs a moment to feel seen, you can send them this story. Not to fix them, not to say much, just to say, I thought of you. Sometimes that's all we need. A story. A pause. A sign that someone out there still believes we matter. So if someone crossed your mind just now, share this. They might not say it, but deep down, they'll be thankful you did. If you liked the story, comment number 7. If you think the story could be better, Comment number 8. We are always here, working hard to bring you the best stories. Thank you for watching, our dear friends. Your support means everything to us. See you in the next story.